Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran, and today I am here to discuss with you the changes in the Strategic Business Leader exam from September 2023 exam sitting and onwards. Now, there is a lot of myths and misunderstandings which is existing among the student community who is planning to give the SBL paper in September, and they're very anxious to know about the changes. They're very anxious to know about what exactly the changes are. And there again, there is a lot of misunderstanding itself which is existing among the student community. They're trying to project some changes, which is not the case with. So I just want to bring the clarity to the changes in SBL from September 2023 with this short session today. Now, first of all, you should be aware of the changes which are coming in SBL from September 23. We'll just have a brief overview of the changes, and where possible, we'll be discussing them in depth so you have a clear idea if you're planning to give exams for SBL in September 23 and onwards. First of all, it's the pre-scene case, limited information. I'll be coming to this shortly, but just as one liner, ACCA will be releasing some pre-scene information about the case study, which will come in your actual exams 15 days before the actual exam starts. And this pre-scene information will contain some limited information about the case study you will be actually seeing in the exam paper. But what will be the benefit of pre-scene and how pre-scene will help you with your actual exam? We'll just come to that shortly. The second is time to attempt the SBL paper will now be from September 23 exams will be 3 hours and 15 minutes. It will no longer be 4 hours. So the time spent will go down and it will become the same time you have for every strategic level exam in ACCA, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Now that means a reduction of 45 minutes and automatically means that there will be some reduction in the content and the amount of reading you have to do in the SBL. And that is the case. So the case information will be reduced. Number of exhibits will go down. So examiner will be giving you less number of exhibits in the real exam. Already the pre-scene will be shared 15 days before. So you will be planned, prepared when you go into the exam hall. You know a lot of information already about the organization and about the industry. So when you go to the exam, the number of exhibits which you will be seeing there in the exams will be reduced down to 3 to 4 maximum. The number of tasks will go down to 3. There will be no more than 3 tasks in the paper. So 3 tasks maximum. Yes, the task can have A, B, C, but there will just be 3 tasks. Out of the 3 tasks, some of them can have A and B, or some of them can just have one alone task, not with A and B, just one task. So the case information will go down, definitely. The number of exhibits will go down. The task will come down to 3 maximum tasks, and that's where the 3 hours and 15 minutes will become effective. Some information will be shared before, 15 days before the exam, and I'll be speaking more of that because that's one of the more important changes. When you look at the screen, I'll be showing you that when you go onto the practice platform and you try to look at the specimen for September 23, you will look at something different, that only one task will appear at a time in front of you. Before, up till the June 23 exam, when we used to look at the main screen of the exam paper, we used to see the task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5 coming all on one screen. And we can click on the task and just see what is it, what's inside it. But now on the first screen, you will just be looking at the task 1. Then you need to click the next button to go to the next screen and see the task 2. Then the next button and go to the next screen and see the task 3, just like the other strategic papers in ACCA. So one task will appear at a time. All 3 tasks will not be visible on the main screen, and I'll just be showing you a glimpse of the specimen, which is now available on the practice platform. Each professional skill will be tested once for 4 marks. So if the examiner in the task number 1A has asked for commercial acumen, that commercial acumen will be asked for 4 marks in the task 1A, and it will then not be repeated in the other task. In the task 1B, if the examiner is asking for professional skepticism for 4 marks, then professional skepticism will not be repeated in the task 2 and task 3. So one skill will come once and 4 definite marks. So each skill will now have 4 marks, and we know there are 5 skills. Each skill will be tested. No skill will be escaped from the paper. So it's 5 skills, each skill with 4 marks. That makes it to 20. That's how the paper would now be structured. So there will not be marks like 2, 3, as we used to see previously for skills. Every skill will now have 4 definite marks, and once it has been tested, it will not reoccur again in the remaining part of the paper. There is no changes in the syllabus. The syllabus remains the same. It's the same syllabus, no changes in syllabus, no additions, no deletion. It's the same looking syllabus for SBL. It's just about the time going down to 3 hours and 15 minutes, number of tasks going down, the content you read will go down. Some of the content will be shared before 15 days before the exam. So these are all changes which is increasing the efficiency, effectiveness of the paper. These are changes which goes according to the mindset of the student. There are no negative changes here. If I speak in the language of the students, they're all positive, favorable changes, and which will have a favorable impact on the way you approach the paper. 2 specimen exams are released on the ACCA practice platform for September 23 onwards, which you can view, and I'll be showing you a glimpse of that just to show you that one task will appear at a time. Each professional skill will be worth 4 marks. And how would you look at the pre-scene case? And will the pre-scenes case will be available on the day of exam as well, or will it just be released 15 days prior to the exam and will not be available on the day of exam? So we need to do all sort of that discussion once we look into the pre-scene case. So the major thing which I will be covering today is the pre-scene. Rest is all simple. The number of tasks going down, exhibits going down, time spent going down, no change in syllabus. One skill tested once for 4 marks will not be repeated, and one task at a time which you will be able to view, not all 3 tasks together. Now let's discuss the pre-scene case, what exactly that is, because that's the first time ACCA students will become used to that. It used to be the case with the SIMA exams, but for the ACCA exams, it's coming for the first time in SBL, the pre-scene case. So lots of students have lots of questions around the pre-scene case that would be settled down in the next 5 minutes. What is pre-scene? I'll show you a glimpse of that shortly. The pre-scene case will be released 15 days prior to the exam and will consist of information about the industry and the organization. So examiner will give you information about the industry in which the organization operates. An examiner will also give you lots of information about the organization, like the business background, like the organizational hierarchy, like the missions, like their objectives, like the key performing indicators, like the financial performance. So you will get this content 15 days before. And what you need to do on this content, I'll just be guiding you on it shortly. The pre-scene content will be available in the exam 2, so as an exhibit. So it's not like you're rote learning, you're remembering, and and you will not get it on the day of exam. If you forget something, the pre-scene content will still be available on the day of exam as an exhibit, and you can still open it and recall something which you have forgotten. So you have 15 days to plan, to read. You can even discuss that with your tutor, with your friends. The pre-scene content, you can have a lot of brainstorming on the pre-scene content, and then you retain some knowledge of the pre-scene content and you go to the exam hall. Will save a lot of time if you still remember some facts, some major facts in the pre-scene content. You can revise the pre-scene content 24 hours before the exams just to be fresh up when you enter the exam hall, and you load lots of information about the case already. So the pre-scene will still be available on the day of exam if you forget it. Now, let's see what you exactly have to do with prescene. What is the ACCA perspective around prescene? What you should do and what you should not do before I show you the prescene in form of a specimen exam published by ACCA. How to approach prescene? This is the ACCA perspective. Students should do careful reading of the case. That's definite, right? You should do a careful reading of the case, an active reading involving limited research to add value. If there is any difficult jargon in the pre-scene, you can just go on the Google and check the meaning of the jargon. If there is a difficult terminology, you can go on the Google and check what's the meaning of that jargon, so you're able to perform better on the day of exam. Because at times when you're reading the actual cases in the exam hall, there are some difficult terms and terminologies which you fail to understand on the day of exam. So you will have an opportunity of becoming familiar with the terminologies used in the case study, and that sort of research can really help you around. Apart from that, the pre-scene content is not that short. It's a good amount of information the examining team is sharing about the industry and the organization, which will really build your mindset about the industry, the challenges of industry, the risk of industry, the opportunities in industry, and you will be well prepared for that. So this is what ACC believe. You should do an active reading of the case. It's not about rote learning. It's not about retaining. I know students are excellent on that, rote learning, retentions, and some might be able to do that. But it's just about remembering the key facts. It's just about remembering the key aspects from the case study, some opportunities, some risk, some main aspects of the board structure, or some of the problems the company is facing. You might just need to bring them on your fingertips. So if you read them twice, thrice, and even a day before exam, you will remember them. When you're reading it at home, you can just keep a pen and paper with you, and you can say key facts, and you can just note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 24 hours before the exam, rather than you go back to the pre-scene case, you can just go down with the facts you put on the paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just to remember, okay, these were the main things happening in the case, so that at least when you're writing the answer on the day of exam, you can bring those things into your answer and make a very good answer. So this is how you should be approaching the pre-scene. I'll just first discuss how you should not approach the pre-scene before I show you the pre-scene and do some exercise on it. So this is how you should. Now comes the more important things, how not to approach the pre-scene. This is very important, and ACCA has read the mind of the student very cleverly, because I believe if ACCA would not have talked about how not to approach the pre-scene, the students must have done the same mistakes. Number one, question spotting. If you are discussing a pre-scene with your tutor or your friends, the information that is given to you, you should not start to think what sort of a question will come on it. If there is something about risk in the pre-scene, or if there is something about some opportunities and threats in the pre-scene, you should not start to sit down and say, oh, I think SWOT model will come. I think something about risk mitigation will come. No, ACCA is refraining you from question spotting. It's about just an active reading on the case, not going down thinking about what sort of a question will come, because we don't know that. That's only the examining team know what question will come in. Learn it by heart. Students are good into that, right? So ACCA is saying, no, you should not learn it by heart. You should not have a rote learning. You just should do the active reading. You can retain some points. You can pen down the points so that a day before exam, you can just revise through them, so they are very fresh on your fingertips. Extensive additional research. You should not say, okay, in the pre-scene material, the examiner is telling me about an oil industry, so let's go on the Google and search something about oil industry. No, because in the pre-scene, whatever information they want to give you about the industry, whatever information they want you to know about oil industry will be given. So you should not do a broader research on the oil industry. Yes, you can do the research on the terminologies and the difficult terminologies used in the case study, so you're well rehearsed with them. Neglect revision and exam practice. You say, okay, 15 days before the exam, I got a pre-scene. Now for the remaining 15 days, I'll be in the pre-scene. I'll just do everything around pre-scene. No. Pre-scene should not distract you from practice of the past papers, from revision of the key concepts, reading the examiner articles. You should give time to pre-scene. But 15 days is a big time. You cannot say for the next 15 days, every day I'll give time to pre-scene. No. The pre-scene should not distract you from your exam revisions. You should give time to exam revision along with pre-scene. So 24 hours before the exam, you can revise the pre-scene, you can go over the pre-scene again, and in the 15-day stretch, you can keep touching the pre-scene on like 3 to 4 days basis, but it's not like every day, single day, you're sitting down with the pre-scene. That's technically wrong. Sole source of answer content. No, you cannot say, okay, the pre-scene is my sole source of answer. No, because when you go to the actual exam, you will see more exhibits. So apart from the pre-scene, in the real exam, you will see exhibit 1, exhibit 2, exhibit 3, exhibit 4, as you see realistically in the SBL exam. So that should also be read and involved. But if the students say, okay, I'll not be reading the exhibits given to me on the day of exam, I'll just write my answer from what I have learned by heart from the pre-scene content, that will be wrong. So it should not be the sole source of answer content. So this is how not to approach the pre-scene. So let's just see the specimen exam and let's see what pre-scene content ACCA will release you, which again will be available on the day of exam as well if you forget anything. So if I take you to the practice platform, I hope you can see that in front of your screen now. And in terms of the practice platform, this is the specimen exam 1 for September 23 onwards. You can see the main screen. The big change you can see here on the left panel, you can see task 1, 34 marks. No task 2, no task 3 on the main screen. So you have to click the next button at the bottom of the screen as you do in the other ACCA exams, and you go do the task 2, then you go do the task 3. So one task at a time. That's the same model you have even in the AAA paper I teach. So that's with every strategic paper, strategic level paper you have in ACCA. And again, you have 3 response options. That's the same. You have the exhibits. They are the same. Number of exhibits have gone down now. See, there are just 4 exhibits for 100 marks paper. Before it used to go up to like 7, 8 even at times. You can see there is a pre-scene content on the left-hand side of the screen as well. So if you forget, the pre-scene content is still available in the exam. Though this content was shared with you 15 days before, and you must have gone over it again and again. But still, if you want to refer to the pre-scene content, it's still available on the day of exam as a separate component. So that is it. But that pre-scene content which you are looking at the left-hand side of the screen, which I just marked with blue, will be released 15 days before for you. Right? Let's see what is the pre-scene content here. I click on the pre-scene content and you can see this window opening here. And this is the pre-scene content ACCA is publishing. This is like an 11-page document where the first page is just the title page saying strategic business leader pre-scene information. So first is the title page. Second is just a table of content telling you what information is there on the remaining 9 pages. One title page, one table of content. So remaining 9 pages, what information is available. So they're giving you introduction about the company. They're giving you information about the mattress industry in the Zealand. So the case is about a mattress industry and how the mattress industry is performing. They've given you the overview of the industry, the types of mattress you make, the industry challenges in development, innovation and sustainability in the industry, key performing indicators of the organization and industry body. So see, you have a lot of industry information, how the mattress industry is performing. PSS overview. This is the company overview, right? So the name of the company is Peel's Sleep Solution, PSS. So that's the overview of the organization. Background, board information, ownership of the company, information systems of the company, products of the company, suppliers of the company, manufacturing of the company, distribution of the company, risk of the company. Then there are some website extracts of PSS, and then there is some financial information of PSS. So see, good content. 15 days, sitting down, understanding the mattress industry, sitting down, understanding the opportunities, the risk, the problems in the mattress industry, understanding the PSS as a company, understanding the risk, the management, the governance, the systems, the financial information, taking out the calculator, doing the increase and decrease in the financial information, taking notes of that, which you will remember for the day of exam. So you know how much sales are increasing, how much profits are increasing, and that will save a lot of time for you on the day of exam. So pre-scene content. Then you go down reading the page number 3 onwards. See, from page number 3, they're giving you the introduction, and then they're giving you introduction about the mattress industry. They're telling you about every possible facts, See, it's so much information going down, down, and down, and you keep reading it over the of the time you have. Keep a pen and paper with you. Wherever you get something important, just pen it down. If you want to find any increase and decrease, do find it out. If there is any particular issue given about PSS, about the industry, relating to stakeholders, employees, management, if there is any fraud going on, any risk developing, just try to keep notes of that, everything that is important. See, number of risks they're facing, political risk, economic risk, financial risk. So you can just note them down, the number of risks they're facing. Again, we're not allowed to do the question spotting, but at least with the type of information that comes in front of you, you start to realize from which topics that relates with, from which syllabus areas that relate with. So at least not explicitly, but impliedly, something will go at the back of the mind where you start to think on an implied basis, oh, might be a question on risk, oh, might be a question on this thing, but you should not be doing it on an explicit basis. See, they have given you financial information, so you can take out a calculator and find how much is the increase in revenue from over the last 5 years or gross profits. So if you want to comment anywhere about the profitability or financial performance, you already are prepared for it. So this is the pre-scene content which will be with you 15 days before exams, about the company, about the industry, with a title page and a table of content. And that's what you need to read, plan, discuss with your tutor, discuss with your friends, a lot of brainstorming. I will be available with my registered students to discuss the pre-scene content. You will first be reading it on your own. I'll be reading it on my own. Then we'll do a brainstorming sessions and we'll have cross arguments. And that will really help you absorb the case study in a more effective manner when you sit down with your tutor. You prepared, I prepared, and then we sit down together. So that's something. Otherwise than that, there is no change. The way you do the paper, 20 professional marks, 80 technical marks. The way you read the exhibits, the way you plan the exhibits, the way I've guided you in my courses up to June, that will remain same. So a lot of student thinks that if I'm booking a course with me or with any other tutor, there will be the course will change and we need to book a new course. No, the same course. Even ACCA recommends you to do the old papers, 2018, 19, 20. The only thing changing is the pre-scene content, right? But you can do the old papers because you need to read all the information to answer the question. Whether it's pre-scene or not pre-scene, you need the whole information to answer the question, right? So you can do the old papers. The old papers are still valid. ACCA is not deleting them from their websites or anywhere. They're still valid. You can still do them because nothing dramatically is changing here. Now, when you just open the task number 1, see, one skill will be tested once. So task 1 has A and B. You can see the A and B. Under the task A, you can see analysis skill for 4 marks. Under the task 1B, you can see communication skill for 4 marks. So one skill once. So already analysis skill tested, communication skill tested, 8 marks gone. So we are remaining with 12 more marks and 3 more skills. So that means they will come in task 2 and task 3. You might get remaining 2 of them in task 2 might be, and remaining 1 in the task 3. So that's how the 4, 4, 4 will go up to 20. So that's one of the changes as well, and one task at a time. Then you click on the next button, you go to the next screen, and then you will be able to see the task number 2. You open the task number 2, and the task number 2 just right in front of you has the A part and the B part. In the A part, they're asking you skepticism skill for 4 marks, and then they're asking you acumen skill for 4 marks. You close this window, and now 4 skills gone. So that technically means you're getting to the last task now, and you open the task number 3. You have an A requirement and a B requirement, and together A and B requirement is asking you evaluation skills for 4 marks. So task 1, A and B, task 2, A and B, task 3, A and B. And with each one of them, we had a 4-mark skill, no repetitions of skill, and that makes it 20 marks. The way you write the answer, the way you approach the answer, the way you read the case, that remains the same. Time has gone down. Number of exhibits have gone down to just 4 because a lot of information has been shared with you before. So now in 3 hours and 15 minutes, this paper becomes more balanced. We're just reading 4 exhibits, might be 4, might be 3 in real exam. Number of tasks is just 3, will not be more than that. 3 is the maximum number. It will remain 3 in the real exam as well. So I hope this session will go a long way in mitigating your misunderstanding around the changes coming in SBL. So once more, a clarity. There are no changes in the syllabus. You can still do the old past papers of SBL. The only thing which is changing is this pre-seen content in front of your screen, which will be released 15 days before. I just show you a glimpse of the pre-seen content. That was an 11-page document, which you need to read, retain, discuss with your tutors, brainstorm with your tutors, and retain a good amount of information, not rote learn, and take it to your exam hall. No question spottings. The pre-seen content should not compromise your revisions. We've already discussed things out on that, right? So again, the final summary. A pre-seen case coming in, the time going down to 3 hours and 15 minutes. The number of tasks will be 3. Each skill will come for 4 marks and will not be repeated. You will see one task at a time, not all 3 of them together. The number of exhibits will go down, so the content you're reading on the day of the exam will go down, and there is no changes in the syllabus, and already 2 specimen exams have been uploaded by ACCA on the practice platform. So I hope the session will be beneficial. If you have any queries, any questions, you can drop under the video and you're watching it on the YouTube or in any WhatsApp group. So these are changes in SBL from September 23 exam setting. Your tutor Kashif Kamran signing off from this informative session. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.